So there's one or two things. People call me psychotic or paranoid. I heard on the radio that they're offering new in Ireland augmented reality, a new augmented reality, where you could fornicate with all your ex-girlfriends and loads of celebrities whose names have been coveted or sold. Pretty much, Brittany was found out about this and wanted to get away from it. I'm not crazy that was on the radio in Ireland. They're selling augment. This is Babylon. They're selling Babylonian sex magic, Hashash in heaven. It's nothing new if you read a book. And they think it's new and they think it's deadly. And more so, the fact that there was a big, not exactly detailed, but public scandal within the Gardaí Síochána. That's the police of my country, the Guardians of Peace, Gardaí Síochána. There was a great scandal involving the Gardaí, and it was semi-sexual related. There was a scandal with the church. Then they thought it was sexual. It's more spiritual, sexual. What the Gardaí Síochána have been doing, abusing my name and my Ori for about 8 or 9 years, with Sinn Féin and military and pseudo-military in Ireland. No one in this country really knows that they have this capacity. And the other people that do have this capacity abroad don't really care because they're doing it the same, so they're not really going to bust them and they bust themselves. Gardaí are bonking my mother all the time. The Gardaí are bonking, spiritually sodomizing my mother. And you as well, and your mothers, and you and yourself. And what they're doing, they're abusing the temple for forbidden fruit of knowledge, and they're eliciting your confessions. So Gardaí can just stare at you these days and do some little gypsy wank magic, and they can actually ask you, where do you keep your cocaine in your house? And they can say, oh, where do you get it off of, and who do you get it off of? They probably did this for a while, built up some massive, big information network, and I think they did bust everybody at one time recently, Operation Tara or something they did. Now, I don't want to get mixed up in this because I'm not mixed up in it, but they're abusing me, so they're involving me in it. So I don't want to be involved in any of this, but they are for. I see them all the time. I'm telling them I can see you fornicating with my mother, and I can see you PJ Mahon or Patrick Mahon or whatever the fuck is. This is a criminal mob, by the way, Mahon family mobsters. So these terrible criminals and murderers are all coveting this potential to know anything. But it's corruptible again. The temple is corruptible. You can rename things and you can rechange them. They give me the name of a serial killing rapist who's also actually Garda vetted military. Hubert McGlynn. He's a group date rapist. If you want to know, a gang date rapist. Him and his brothers and his friends are military, and they exercise in coordinated group date rape. And my president is working with these people, and the Gardaí are working with these people. So it just shows you are the company you keep. So they changed my name, and then they tried to use it as an excuse to execute me, without trial or anything, on the assumption that I was some sort of a murder rapist, a celibate vegan. So that is some sort of murder rapist. So they can change your name, and then they can frame you, and they can get somebody to even snuff you or kill you on these confusions in principle. It was actually predicted in the Bible that this has happened, that he'd be a really good person. You won't be able to kill him, and they'll ask, why can't we kill him? It's because of his name. So then they'll try to change his name, and it says they'll give him the names of the worst, most horrible criminals and murderers in the land and try to crucify him under these names, which is also why you see Jesus is looking so messed up when he's being crucified. He looked really scorn-browed from all the horrible names that they put, all the tails they put on the donkey. You ever heard this game? Pin the rat tails on the donkey. I think it's a game that Jewish people told Christians to play at a party, and then Christians kept playing it and didn't know that, but it was an offence to Jesus that you're pinning tails on the donkey. They do this a lot, you know what I mean? There's a lot of this in the world. They give you some little funny, humble advice feed your dogs I-ams. They probably make and distribute and sell I-ams and sell them to silly Christians who don't even know that they're feeding their dogs. One of the most sacred terms in the Bible. So Gardaí are doing this, and you don't know about it, but now you do know about it as well. And you have a right to know about it because it's an unlawful method of eliciting information. Their techniques they're using, wiretapping and things like this. In Ireland, they're very lackadaisy about legitimate. Print warrants off. The guards used to laugh at me. He's we just print a warrant off if we want to. We don't need to fucking do anything. They're the absolute scum of the earth. But anyway, yes, you executed me, and you tried to disembowel me, and you tried to lie about it, and you tried to claim it was a suicide attempt or something, and then you would have tried to lie to my mother about it, that you tried to kill her firstborn son, and you tried to lie. You are filthy, dirty, horrible people, and you will be revealed as gospel necessity. The gospel truth will be revealed, and all of this scandal within the Gardaí Síochána and the pseudo-Irish military or the Irish military is going to be gospel fact and gospel truth. The world won't care that you're concealing truth. They want to save their own sperm. They'll want to save their balls, and they need to know the truth about it, and it's at your expense because you are such blatantly scandalous, corrupt, horrible, murderous, degenerate. Yeah. And I own your sperm, and your judgment is mine. I will be the judge of you when you are dead. And in hell, I will be there hovering over you. Like Virgil was protecting and deliver you. I will protect and deliver people that I like and care for, people who are nice to me, and I will fucking torture the other people for all eternity. I'm a very nice person, I wouldn't harm a fly. I will tear you apart for all eternity. I will sodomize your families in front of you. I will do the most horrible, horrible things that you've done to my family, PJ, for eternity. Every day, just watch, and they're on the clock. The taxpayer are paying these people while they are spiritually sodomizing all of you, taking your ovaries, taking your names, bonking your mothers, claiming your forthrights, claiming everything, claiming your birthrights, and they're eliciting information of you, illegally eliciting information off of everybody using this method. They're eliciting confessions from the temple. They are stealing forbidden fruit of knowledge from the temple. I think their knowledge is going to be worthwhile in the end when they're found with all that they've stolen, all the fruit that they stole from the temple, and then they'll wonder why they wanted to be professional little snitches for the Gardaí. Like, they all think they're like psychic detectives going around in Ireland, and they all think they're like magical and prophetic. No, they're a bunch of Babylonian abusing merchants of the temple. And what would Jesus do? He got them all out of the temple. He chased them all out. He got all the swine and merchants and bastards and profane heretical scumbags, and he got them out of the temple. And until that happens, until you get them all out of the temple and just have me back in my temple where I belong, they will be eliciting your confessions. They will be buggering your brains. They will be training you. They will be conditioning you. They will be practically brainwashing you. It's supposed to be used in the opposite direction. Like, they condition people to do horrible things, just like sit around masturbating or to murder or rob or just to be terrible. You're supposed to do the complete opposite. Like if I was the temple and your confessions were safe with me and through Jesus, then you could come and confess to me and you'd be like, I'm a serial killer. And I'd be like, okay, you're a serial killer. I'm not going to go tell the police because I'm not a snitch, or I'm not going to abuse the temple, or I'm not going to spread it because that's very problematic. I would be able to condition you, though, so you stop killing people. I'd put an end to it. You came in and you honestly repented unto me that you're some sort of serial killer and you just something that you can't help it or something. I would change them. I would use my potential and the potential of the temple then to condition them to change them and not be a serial killer. So at least it's stopped. I wouldn't go snitch them out or rat them into the garden. They call me a rat. I can't stand that. I don't die, right? I don't die. Like, that's fucking proof and pudding. Out of 14 times of being sufficiently killed, I don't die. And I explained in the other video why I won't die. And they call me a rat as if for like surviving. And it's not my fault I'm immortal. It's like, calling me a rat. No, rats rip people off for their own convenience or their own advance or their own survival. So these Irish Gardaí, they're actually all drug dealers as well. The Mahan family are all like professional brothel running drug dealers, and they're using this potential now to snitch out the competition, snitch out other drug dealers and bust other drug dealers. And they're such rats. Like, they are such rats. Like, they're like the ones ratting out the competition, and they're Gardaí and pseudo like IRA military drug dealers and brothel runners, and they're racketeering. Like, this is the highest and holiest potential in the hands of the worst people. I remember originally when these are the worst people you could actually, what would Jesus do? He actually would have worked with them, but I saw into the future of working with them what that would have been, and it wasn't very nice at all. I went down to take care of my family, and they followed me and been stalking me ever since for 8 or 9 years, and they never talked to me. I went walking my dog and to set an example, just being natural, and they never spoke to me. They took photos of me and stuff, and they went off and they were chanting my name and masturbating and smoking crack and doing and wanking over my mother. Outside the church is his mother. It's the mother and her son. They're very important. And you're bonking her all day, and you're sodomizing me, and you're corrupting me, and whatever you do written in me is written on your sperm. That's why the popes, in the movie The Two Popes, they're writing the name of the person they're electing on balls, on white balls, because it's written on their sperm, whoever they elect. So whatever you call me, if you offend me, like, in any way, if you call me queer, you have queer sperm, queer children, and you'll need to love and accept your queer babies where you fail to accept or appreciate it or accept me. So they call me horrible names, and you're going to see that now in generations of your children. You'll have ugly, horrible rapist murdering. I'm not a murderer or rapist, but they call me a murderer rapist. They changed my name to a murder rapist, and this horrible little ginger, inbred, monstrous, chode dick, murder rapist Hubert is, and all your babies. You're going to ginge tinge. You're going to have this weird. Everyone has this ginge tinge going on because you have him in my name. It's not written on your sperm, Hubert. Hubert is written on all of your sperm. And that's just what they do. They do it for sport. They just do it to cause me inconvenience, to bother me and hassle me. It's like as I used to say, biting at the ankles of King David, like you see in the Psalms. Like, they torment me for no reason. They outnumber me than hairs on my head. They bully me, torment me, persecute me, punish me for consuming, punish me for anything, and I've done nothing wrong. Like, it's actually the exact opposite. I've done something very well. Multi-sainted, fucking genius scholar, most celibate. So I'm being persecuted and hunted for being a good person. See, some people out there want the best of everything, and they'll get the best of everything, and I just happen to be the best of a few things. Rosaries and ovaries and this kind of religious stuff, and dignifications. And they just want the best of everything, so they don't mind destroying a really good person just to covet and steal and abuse. And he's a horrible, murderous, pig-minded, misogynist rapist, and that's going to be in the temple, and what's in the temple is fit for all, so that's why you're seeing so much... there's a bit of a rape crisis going on in Brazil, and some rape crisis. It doesn't surprise me at all. Murder, crime, fighting, general domestic abuse. Like, these are what things he's tolerating in the temple. And horrible, scandalous, corrupt, rat-like Gardaí, big time. It's mostly Gardaí. I didn't realise this, but it is mostly Gardaí. And I own your sperm, Paddy. You know what I mean? I own your sperm, and your judgment will be mine. Devil owns your bowels. There's no such thing. The devil was an angel. I've already said this in other videos. Got cheated and ripped off. And probably suffered for about 400 years in a cave until his head shrunk down to a peppercorn, and God said, right, that's enough. I just have to take you out of this. And he doesn't like your species at all. He did originally like you. He was a very loving person. But he was cheated and ripped him, sodomized him, and destroyed him. And justice will be his. So it's not really evil or darkness or anything. It's just you destroyed him. He will justifiably destroy you all. So I don't know why people worship the devil, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't worship the good Lord, and you worship then the Lord that you did rip off. It's a bit, like, contradictive, you know what I mean? If you're not even worshipping the good Lord, or not worshipping, but, respecting or giving due lordship unto the good Lord, Jesus, or any other good Lord. I don't know why he's prayed to the one he's ripped off and cheated. He's not your friend. I doubt he's gonna... you're just being a stupid, greedy human again by being a devil worshipper. And a stupid, greedy... people with bad religion that destroyed him, so I doubt he's going to like you. He might pretend to like you and just lead you to your destruction. It happens a lot. Like, I've already said this to them, the stupid PJ Madden and all. Like, you did do it for the friar, or for some friar in Norway, some Norwegian friar. He's the most condemned man on earth, and he's dead. And it's like, well, what are you doing, following the will of a dead man, or dead people? And it's like, I've scientific or philosophical at least, I've entailed this tangent onto its extremity, and I found out that they want you all dead and buried. So while you're following the intermediate will of these dead people and listening and doing what they tell you, and they tell you it's a good thing, do this and fornicate with the wife and murder to survive. They keep saying this, we murder. They're murdering lots of murdering in my name, killing in the name of a Lord. And they're getting away with it for some reason. I don't know how they're getting away with it. Like, I'm being punished and persecuted by Gardaí, and they're all running around killing geese and women and children and queers and lots of different people. And me, my other friend Lork's got murdered in Bray recently. I've been talking about him casually, but he also had the name of the dipshit murder rapist, Hubert, and he might have got murdered on or killed or died on the fact that he deserves terrible karma. This murder rapist, he was a former military, he's a former Marine, like disgracefully discharged for selling guns that he was stealing. And the government are working with him, I just don't understand it. Like, what the fuck, how corrupt is the government? Anyway, you'll see, it's going to be wonderful. You're going to see the corruption of Ireland in the future, in the gospel necessity. So it's going to be great, if you don't like pigs, there's nothing, the way when pigs, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't win versus the pigs. Well, it's great on this occasion because I win on this occasion. There's nothing the pigs can do on this occasion, and you're going to have, everybody's going to have to witness and appreciate the scandal of the Gardaí and the corrupt nature of the Gardaí and the abuse and the sex scandal and slave driving and drug dealing and absolute two-faced. And again, under the taxpayers' money, you're paying for these. The Gardaí study crime more than criminals. Gardaí have the centre house knowledge of all criminality. They've dealt with it all. They're technically the most proficient or potentially proficient criminals on the face of the earth. They know every trick in the book. They know every single type of criminology. They know everything, every scam, everything. They know more than criminals know. They're very dangerous people. Anyway, I don't know why you're paying for them anyway. Drive it off the pier. Horrible, big, dirty, fucking chain-smoking, misogynistic fucking pigs. Yeah, you tried to kill me, like, I don't, you tried to disembowel me, and you tried to lie about it, and you are trying to lie about it, and I have a conviction pending against me now for talking about it, and, that's just the ultimate contradiction. Justice in this country. Like, Ireland is a horrible place. It looks pretty, but Ireland is a horrible, horrible, corrupt, dirty, murderous place. It does look very pretty. I was looking at these Ukraine people coming over, and they're like being housed and all. They're like, oh, such a lovely country, you're such wonderful, nice people. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It looks like that. It does appear to be that, but it's not. It's a horrible, corrupt, greedy, selfish, begrudging, proud, envious. Yeah, it's a terrible place with terrible people. To be perfectly honest, they're all invalid, fucking disenfranchised, gullible, stupid, greedy, grinning all the time as well. All the paddies are always grinning and laughing and thinking they're fucking deadly. You used to be deadly because you once protected very important people pertaining to Israel, as in not the country Israel, but as in people Israelites, and now you're buggering and sodomizing your own Israelite. So you're going to lose your Christian, but you've already lost your Christian blessings to Ireland because you were used to protect them, and now you had your own, and you buggered me and screwed me, and you're sodomizing my mother and my family, and even my deceased grandparents and things like this. You're necromantic. You're sodomizing and murder. You murdered my wife. They were there. IRA and Sinn Féin witnessed them drown a girl. Witnessed them drown her. So yeah, no, I just think, like, to remind you, they're on they're on duty while they're doing this stuff. They're psychic fucking detective work. They are on duty. You are paying for them while they sodomize you and mess with your heads and mess with your families and mess with your order. And and if you don't believe me, there was a scandal. They said it on the news. There's a big investigation or a big probe. That was the Vatican, by the way, that was doing that. We're initiating that, or looking into it, or someone from Europe did some sort of sexual scandals of the Gardaí Síochána. So they are sexually engaging with all of you, buggering your mothers, buggering your families, buggering your wives, eliciting your confessions, and yep, and then like disappearing your sainted fucking genius scholar children. For Damien, for Derek Rockefeller, Mr. Rockefeller came over here, and Mr. Rockefeller was leading the way and educating everyone, and Vanderborgs and all, yeah, stupid fucking gullible, greedy Irish. Those stupid fucking gullible and greedy Irish. But anyway, it's going to be a gospel revelation how stupid and greedy and gullible the Irish are. Gospel necessity, the whole world's going to know about it. If you think Judas Iscariot and Pontius Pilate had a bad rep, neither of these people have bad reps with me, by the way. You're gonna love this. You're gonna fucking devil. You think this is bad? You're gonna love this, man. You are absolutely gonna love it when you globally revealed how horrible Ireland is under the hood. And there's gonna be some good people. There's not all terrible monster murderers, rapists. A lot of people were good, and a lot of people suffered. But yeah, so that's about the Gardaí, bonking your brains and bonking your mothers. And they've been doing it for almost a decade now, and there will be gospel truth and revelation of the matter. You will all love it, because you can never win against the Gardaí, but this time they can only lose on this occasion. There will be gospel revelation of this matter, and they will be utterly revealed, and there's nothing that they can do about it this time. They have no ulterior power. They are social guardians or protectors, and they're bonking and destroying and harvesting and slave driving their own country. I just think that's funny. It's like, we pay them to protect us. We pay the Gardaí and military to protect and defend us. And they're bonking and sodomizing and destroying their own country. I was like, you're not very good at your job. You're doing explicitly, completely backwards or opposite to what your job is. And we're paying you to do that. We pay you, your taxpayers. My mother and father are out working all day, so then they can get sodomized by the Gardaí. My mother can be bonked and fornicated, and she's working hard, about OAPs, working hard to get sodomized by the Gardaí. Yeah, so they're doing it to me, they're doing it to you, they're doing it to everyone, they're doing it all up and down the country. Kinnihan's and all involved in it, And so they're busting them. They said they used phones. They used some exoteric device that they had some SIM-free phones that they were using. No, it's just exoteric bullshit that they put into a court to pass off how they got the information. They were completely and utterly abusing the temple. There's no communication in the temple, Paddy. That's what the post office is for. There's no gossip and lies and slander in the temple. That's what your public house is for. There's no fornicating or chatting up your neighbour's wife in the temple. That's again in the public house, Paddy. There's not a brothel in an Irish town unless Sinn Féin are in that town or running shops in that town. So you keep your whoredom in your fucking brothels. You keep all those things, respective things, in the respective buildings, Paddy. That's why they put the different buildings there, Paddy. So you do it in different things, Paddy. You do in the church, you go to learn the truth about me and my family, and the truth about you, myself and my family is you bonked and sodomized and raped and cheated me, Ireland, Gardaí, military. So you go to the temple and you hear that truth. That's what happens in the temple. You get the truth and you get my teachings, and it saves your sperm. And until you get the truth and teachings from me, you got broken IRA balls, baby. The whole world. Lots of little ginger rapist babies in Japan. A lot of ginger rapist babies in Switzerland at the moment. A lot of ginger, ugly little fucking rapist babies all over the world. If they're not stillborn entirely, I heard Ireland's having a real stillborn problem. And I warned them they have a stillborn problem. Nephilim, baby, name not spoken. Name not found. Because I don't have my name. And God's like, if you think you can trick me and take my son and take his name away, well, do it to all of your sons. Ha-ha-he is ha-ha-ho. Fit for a lord is fit for all. Man being punished, sodomized, raped, cheated, and robbed, and everybody will be punished, robbed, raped, cheated, and ruined. That's why they say, like, you'll lose. It's not you'll have nothing and be happy. You'll lose everything. And I was cheeky, hobo, cheerful about it all. I had a few hobo hissy fits, don't get me wrong. A lot of hobo breakdowns, but I lost everything, and I hardly cared. I got on with it. Yeah, a couple of beers, bit of gin, and day goes on. So now you know about the Irish Gardaí, shake on it. They're messing with your brains, they're messing with your families, they're corrupting, they're bunking your wives, they're bumping your mothers, they're bunking your sisters, they're bunking you in a way. I don't know how they probably use female guards, the pretty little blonde ponies that they hire. I reckon a lot of those, this is speculation, entirely speculation, but I reckon they actually have prostitutes on payroll. I reckon the Gardaí have prostitutes on payroll. And just have them even in uniform and stuff, and they actually are just paid prostitutes to keep them satisfied or entertained. I sang that Cujo song the other day with Shoplifting and Pesto, and I tried to squeeze into a verse, like a cappella ad-lib, about an event that I was hobo camped near a Garda station, and somebody robbed my bike, and I was really pissed off about it. I had enough, like, just broken down hobo, and I was screaming my head off, and I went around to the Garda station around the block, and they could hear me screaming as I was coming, so they all ran outside and to intercept me. And he had his collar open and loose, and there's loads of little blonde young trainee Gardaí there. They didn't actually act like and talk properly like Gardaí, but there were lots of young little blondie Gardaí there in uniform, and he had his collar down. It was a Saturday night, and he got right up in my face, like right up in my face. I'll arrest you here right now, and we'll drag you in. I was like, "You're pissed." I just knew it. I just looked at him and was like, "You're pissed," and I looked around and was like, "You're all pissed." It's like, "You're on champagne, I can tell." And it's like, "You're not drunk." I was like, one of them wasn't drunk. And it's like, "You're not drunk. Yous are all drunk. You're all drinking champagne." And then they all ran inside. They all just ran away. And one of the blondie ones locked the door. And it's like, "If you want to, you can use the fucking person, because that's the way we do things here." And I was like, "Yeah, that's how you do things here, is it?" But anyway, I bet you they're on the payroll. It wouldn't surprise me. Paddy just can't handle power. Ireland just are terrible at independent. Like, you see this in Ukraine, like, they had independence and then they went into total Naziville and like hating Russians and persecuting Russians and Russian genocide in Ukraine before the last 7 years that led up to the war. They just couldn't handle independence, and Ireland are the same. We can't handle independence. They get one taste or one whiff of power, and Paddy gets one little whiff of power. They just turn into crime-running fucking sodomites, man. They just turn into absolute fucking corrupt fucking degenerates. They can't handle. No, I really highly recommend we get subjugated. And if there was a Putin card, I wouldn't care if we got subjugated by England again. It's like, you just can't run your own country. You're too greedy. You're too corrupt. You're too no. You just can't run a country. You just can't handle independence. You're meant to be slaves, aren't you? It's good, farming slaves, good serfs and slaves for the English, aren't you? It's your place in life, isn't it? You just can't handle it otherwise, can you? And then you don't want to be slaves to the English, so like you be slaves to Florida, and for some reason you don't mind dissing England and saying, well, we hate the Brits, but now you're welcoming these monster murderous, cannibalistic, rapist sodomites from Florida because they're loaded, and you think they're any better or different than contemporary British government or monarchy, and you welcomed them and you worked with them, Mr. Rockefeller Trash and Mr. Goldstein and all these other gypsies that are coming over to your country, and you're welcoming them with Cade Miller Falchef or Cade Miller rapist, murderous gypsies. buying up all the property, kicking out all the Irish onto the streets, taking over the show altogether. And it's a runaway country, and you don't even know about it. You don't even care about it, and you're so passive, Ireland. You just sit around and let the Gardaí bugger you into fucking oblivion. I'm going to Russia anyway. I'm moving away. You can burn and sodomise my absenteeism. Anyway, yeah, cops kill queers. Yeah.